Hey, you said 5 seconds, Shivam.
I was counting down.
Yeah, so 41 runs, India have won, and congratulations to Rohit Sharma's team. They are in the final of the ASIA Cup.
Because now it's at a point where, they lose their last game. Net run rate will not make any difference because their net run rate is positive. Also, deals a big blow to Pakistan's hopes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Actually, no, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
So
it doesn't.
I'll tell you why. Because this win now has meant that India has gotten to 4 points.
Yes.
Okay. 2.69 doesn't matter about the net run rate situation. Sri Lanka has slipped to minus 0.2. But now, 14th of September, Sri Lanka versus Pakistan.
It's a
Whoever
shootout.
wins that,
Goes through.
only one more team can get to 4. Yeah. That's it. India, Bangladesh, for all practical purposes, is a dead number. And we are joined by Nikhil from the Ketarama at this point. And Nikhil, solid performance from a certain Kuldeep Yadav who just, and Ravindra Jadeja, they are just spinning a web around the Sri Lankan batters and felt like 214. No, they are chasing 314, isn't it?
Well, it was a nail biter. The nail biter that we were all expecting in the India versus Pakistan game and couldn't quite get it. We got it in this game versus Sri Lanka. And, it was a topsy-turvy game, let's be honest. At one stage, it did feel like that India will win this game. Then at another point, you felt no, Sri Lanka are cruising when that partnership was there. And Gayle with the bat, the way he'd be performing. Then with Dhananjay De Silva, he came together to build that partnership. It looked like Sri Lanka were cruising to victory. And then that collapsed towards the end where, Kuldeep Yadav picking up those 4 wickets in total. What a couple of days it's been for Kuldeep Yadav. A total of 9 wickets in a period of 24 hours. Wow. I wonder if there's anybody else who's done that in white ball cricket before. What are the best figures in white ball cricket ever?
8 for 19.
Chaminda was.
Chaminda was 8 for 19. So 9 wickets in a matter of
2 days.
And it's finished today. And so it started today. That FIFA happened also today, technically.
Yes.
In the sense, by the time the game got over, it was past midnight. So in a period of 24 hours, I think if you look at it differently, probably the best figure I know it's gone over 2 games, but best figures in a 24-hour period by any bowler in the history of one-day cricket. Yeah, yep. Kuldeep Yadav, 9 wickets. So outstanding couple of days for him.
Yeah. 9 for 68 in 19 overs for Kuldeep Yadav because he bowled only 8, I suppose. 8 overs, 5 for 25 in Pakistan.
Correct.
Here he bowled the full quota.
Yeah, but what a comeback it has been for Kuldeep Yadav. It's not been easy. He's been dropped several times on numerous occasions for team combinations and all of that.
Yeah. Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence. But then that injury. But now he's here. Kuldeep Yadav is here and he's here to stay.
And absolutely, I mean, see, today, despite Akshar's poor show, it was the Kuldeep Jaddu duo that ensured that this total would be very difficult to chase. I mean, look at the amount of turn.
Yeah.
If you had added an extra coat of varnish on those stumps, Nikhil, they would have ended with all the wickets, I would assume, isn't it? Such brute of a delivery.
Yeah. Some of those deliveries, you're right. Absolutely outstanding. I was a bit surprised that when the Indian spinner came in, the ball did not do as much as what was happening when the Sri Lankan spinners were bowling. But yes, there were certain deliveries by Indian spinners which were almost impossible. I think one area which India will need to look at, and I think that's the area that has, in a sense, got the game this far. Otherwise, India should have won this game rather comfortably, was the fielding per se. Not a great day for India in terms of fielding, a few drop catches. And let's not forget, Gayle is the one who got them back, but he was out and India did not review. The bowler was pretty convinced. It was Ravindra Jadeja, if I'm not mistaken, who had that leg before, was pretty convinced that it was out. But the Indian team decided not to review it. And I guess, from there on that partnership built. But if you look at it overall, I mean, had India fielded better, had India been a bit smarter with their reviews, this game would have ended pretty early.
Indeed. I mean, the ball that Velalage, it was kind of just the impact was umpire's call. So anyway, the on-field decision was anyway not out in that sense. But I mean, why did there was a question that was asked, why did Sri Lanka surrender so easily? But Sri Lanka are facing an uphill task because their batting hasn't inspired that much of confidence.
I think they did not surrender. In fact, if you look at it to the contrary, they did not surrender at all. They in fact made a match of it from where they were when they lost those 6 wickets. I don't think anyone would have given them the chance. When Ballagale and Dhananjay De Silva, I think that was a partnership that started it all.
Partnership.
I think, if at that time they were down and out, most teams would have crumbled. But Sri Lanka did not. At the end, though, the margin of victory looks pretty big, 41, but that is only at the because of the collapse. But it could well have been a 10-run victory, a 5-run victory, or there and thereabouts. That's how close this game was. So clearly not one-sided. What, by the way, this has also done is, the net run rate is not damaged Sri Lanka's net run rate as much as it damaged Pakistan's net run rate. So if you take a look at the points table now, I'm pretty sure India, of course, are on top. By the way, what this result has done, I don't know if you already mentioned it, but they've guaranteed India a final spot.
Yes.
Now, there is no permutation or combination that can ensure that India does not make it to the final. So that India is playing the final is guaranteed, which is then a big relief because remember, the last time around, and I was there in the UAE covering the Asia Cup, India missed out on that final. So just reaching the final would have been the first step for the Indian team. And if they hadn't reached the final, can you imagine the brickbats that could have come their way? So I think that's the first hurdle, that they've qualified for the final, become the first team to qualify for the final. I think that says a lot. And now it's going to be a straightaway shootout. What this result has done is 2 things. It's guaranteed India a final spot, and it's eliminated Bangladesh completely. So Bangladesh is technically eliminated of the Asia Cup. Mathematically, they were in with a chance, but now they're eliminated. Now it's a straight-out shootout between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Whoever wins the game earns the right to play India in the final. If that game is washed out, interestingly, I think it will be Sri Lanka that goes through because they have a better net run rate. So it'll be all to play for in that game, and it sets up the Asia Cup rather nicely.
Yep. Because this is given a lifeline for Pakistan also. So in India versus Pakistan, despite that horrendous loss, they now are in contention for the final because if they beat Sri Lanka, you got an India-Pakistan
Exactly.
final.
Then it's 4 points to each because right now Bangladesh are in no way making it. Straight shootout between Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Whoever wins is in.
Yep. And it's again, if that is the case, it's a repeat of the 2017 Champions Trophy. Because remember, Pakistan had to beat Sri Lanka to ensure that they got through to the semis. Then the semis, it was a lottery, they won against England. And then you saw in the final what happened, they beat India. So first time ever, if that happens, it will be India-Pakistan final on Sunday. It could happen now because of India's victory over Sri Lanka. Now if Sri Lanka beat Pakistan on 14th, then your India-Pakistan dreams are over.
Correct.
But I mean, Sri Lanka were not helped by 2 factors. One, they have the depth, but unfortunately their batters aren't contributing.
Especially the top order when we're looking at it.
But especially the way how they even fell also. I mean, they couldn't handle the pace of Bumrah and Siraj, especially Karunaratne and Pathum Nissanka. Even Kusal Mendis, flummoxed by the pace, he just popped it up to Suryakumar.
The worst dismissal for me was that of Sadhir Samaravikrama. Threw his wicket away, charging down the stumps to Kuldeep. Who do you think you are? I'm sorry, but who do you think you are?
I think the dismissal that changed the entire course of the game was Dhananjay De Silva.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Once De Silva went.
That partnership
63. 63? Yeah, 63. Do you think, Nikhil, that was the turning point? Dhananjay De Silva's dismissal, and then you felt, yes, it's India's game now? Or do you think there was some other...
I think... No, I completely agree. I think it was that dismissal of Dhananjay De Silva. I think that was really the turning point, and a few careless dismissals after that as well. I think one of them was Tikshana. I think even when Tikshana came out to bat, it did seem like that they could chase it, but then trying to clear the boundary, playing an airy-fairy shot where I think
Suryakumar Yadav.
Suryakumar Yadav caught it at mid-on.
Yes.
Was that
correct?
Yeah, no. Yeah, there was one that was caught at mid-on where he was trying to clear the mid-on. There was a boundary hit just before that, and then you had a situation where it was caught at mid-on, if I'm not mistaken. That that may have been Tikshana's dismissal, but yeah, I agree. I mean, taking those sort of risks at that time probably wasn't really, prudent from the Sri Lankan team. But you know that this sort of an inexperience would come into play. You knew somewhere down the line that this sort of an inexperience would come into play. But, Sri Lanka gave India a turning track, a track which would give them the best chance to win. But unfortunately, in the trap that they laid for the Indian team, they ended up falling in that trap, courtesy some outstanding bowling by Kuldeep Yadav, as I pointed out, and a couple of other names that I'm going to take. Jasprit Bumrah was outstanding on the day, and I think that's another big positive for India. 2 games in a row. Also, you needed to test his fitness, whether he can bowl a full quota of 10 overs. He bowled majority of his overs yesterday, again bowled 7 overs today.
Yep.
So it's telling you that he's completely fit in terms of his fitness. And what a spell he had. Now, this is a track which wasn't really conducive to fast bowling. You thought really spinners would come into play. In fact, we were looking at the first 10, 12 overs thinking, hey, maybe the spinner comes now, maybe the spinner comes now. But I think that's what, Rohit Sharma has faith in his fast bowlers. Probably that's why I persisted with him. So Jasprit Bumrah, the standout bowler, alongside, of course, Kuldeep Yadav, the wicket taker. 2 wickets to Ravindra Jadeja, which you expected. But one name I'm going to take, who only picked up 1 wicket, but was absolutely outstanding on the day, is Hardik Pandya.
Yep.
Economy of 2.80, and he if you remember, Rohit gave him just 1 over, and that was sort of a transitional over where he wanted to bring his spinners on between the fast bowlers and the spinners. So that was sort of a transition where I think nobody really expected that Hardik could do the trick. But later, when that partnership started building up, and you were looking for avenues to get the wickets, you throw the ball to Hardik Pandya. Let's be honest, nobody expected Hardik to be that guy, who comes back with that kind of deliveries that he did. He was on certain occasions unplayable, on certain occasions just absolutely unplayable. And I think that is another positive for India. Hardik Pandya with the ball, we saw it in that game versus Pakistan. We saw it again versus Sri Lanka. That's a positive. The only disappointment, and I'd love for you to discuss that, on a spin-friendly pitch where even Lanka and Dhananjay De Silva were looking like Muthaiya Muralidharan. Akshar Patel did not have the game that you would expect him to.
Yep, exactly. I think Akshar was the one major
underwhelming.
disappointment,
Yeah.
because when you were watching him, you're thinking, okay, if nothing else, this is the kind of pitch where people wouldn't really look to want to take a risk against him. But he was the one bowler who was absolutely targeted.
Yeah.
He was taken apart by, he was getting tongued, and they actually had to pull him off. Ideally, remember, Sri Lanka only, I think, bowled in 11 overs from pacers.
Yes.
That's it. Out of the full 50, it was 11 overs. There in India didn't have the option to do that. 1, because you didn't have a 4th spinner. 2 is because your 3rd spinner actually ended up leaking runs. So it's going at 5.8.
Correct. And it's been a bittersweet day for Akshar Patel, let me tell you, because he did chip in with a vital 24. That ensured India got past 200. That would have been a big psychological...
Gave India that cushion.
Yes.
Psychological advantage at the halfway stage. And of course, you subtract those 24 odd runs, 20 odd runs from, what India managed to put on
17 runs. You would have a 17
Exactly.
run win.
Sri Lanka's approach perhaps could also have changed.
Could have, but I said it in the beginnings, Harshit. I think you were not there. These two were there. I told them a target of 214 will feel as if it's 314 because of the way how the pitch has assisted the spinners. And in this way, Akshar Patel's bowling performance would be a big letdown. But then you can't immediately discount him because he scored those vital runs with number 11, and that's what you expect from your number 8. But in this kind of a thing, a Shardul could have broken the partnership.
Yeah, but apart from the bowlers, I think there's one other person that we need to talk about is Rahul behind the wicket.
Oh,
He
yes.
looked absolutely immaculate, and the way that he contributed, because a lot of wickets wouldn't have been possible without him. Nikhil sir, what do you think about that?
Diving to his right to a pacer, then diving forward when Jadeja was bowling, then that stumping that he effected while Kuldeep was bowling. Just what you expect from your keeper. And also, Nikhil, just adding to what Dagargi said, and we'll love to hear your thoughts as well. Has he just dispelled all those fears as far as his fitness is concerned, just in the right manner?
He has. In fact, whatever you guys are saying, I completely agree with that. I mean, and it was good to see that the Indian team give him the wicket-keeping gloves. But interestingly, I don't know what the future holds. Today we got an update about Shreyas Iyer saying that he's getting fit slowly. And there will be a stage where probably you would want to just bring him and try his fitness and see how he is. I don't know whether he performs or we get into the 11 or not. Right now, I think this is your best 11 where you will have KL Rahul or Ishan Kishan. But I think what KL Rahul has shown us in the last 2 days, let's compare the two, which was Ishan Kishan and KL Rahul on a spin-friendly track just today because they were batting around the same time. I think without doubt, I'm going to say it was KL Rahul that looked better than Ishan Kishan.
Yes.
On the evidence of what we saw them batting today, just on batting, right? In terms of keeping, he's a makeshift keeper, but did a great job today. There have been occasions where Ishan Kishan has been found wanting. If you remember that Nepal game, dropped a catch there, important catch. So in terms of keeping, not much to choose. So if you look at it overall, if it does reach that stage, it is not the stage right now. I think right now the best 11 will feature the two of them. But dare I say, and I'm ready to put my neck on the line, if you do reach a stage where you will only pick one of them as a wicketkeeper batsman, I think, even though it's just 2 matches, I think KL Rahul is already reaching a stage where he could be the first choice wicketkeeper batter, even ahead of Ishan Kishan. And that he has done that turnaround in just 2 games is absolutely incredible. It's a testament to the kind of effort that he's shown, not just with the bat, behind the stumps, and the fact that he's done it in 2 games in a row without any gap in hot and humid conditions says a lot. So kudos to KL Rahul. Couldn't have been easy. Can you imagine the amount of scrutiny there was? You know, if he ever checked out what was happening in Sports Today studio, everyone questioning him all the time. Not there, but I'm just joking. But on social media, on mainstream media, everyone, questioning his position, raising doubts about his fitness. So the pressure would have been there. I'm sure he knew about it. Even if you shut out the outside noise, you do know that you are under scrutiny. I think that is something that, he would be aware of. And then to come and play that pressure game versus Pakistan, told in the 11th hour, come on, you're up, you're playing, so get ready, come on in and play. That wouldn't have been easy. And do I see Suryakumar Yadav coming and picking an award? He wasn't even part of the 11, right?
Yeah, I think for the catches.
It must
Active.
be
Imagine you're not even in the 11.
Yeah, smart catch of the match.
Active catch of
Not
the
even
match.
in the 11. You're not even in the 11 and you make it to the presentation ceremony. Salute, Sky.
Indeed. Who was he in? Who did he come as a replacement?
Probably Ishan Kishan, I think.
But didn't Ishan?
Ishan was fielding early on, but later on you didn't see
Yeah.
him anywhere. So I think he was the replacement fielder for Ishan.
I think they were rotating a lot of fielders, giving them some rest because I said it was
Considering,
because of
yes.
those back-to-back games.
Yep. Back-to-back games. No,
Bumrah was on
there.
the field.
Bumrah was on the field. So yes.
Yeah, he was.
By this, one more thing has happened. Sri Lanka's 13-match winning streak's over.
finally.
It's done.
Gargi says, oh, finally. She wanted it.
She didn't want Sri Lanka to overall Australia.
She's anti-Sri Lankan.
I meant to say, oh no, finally.
Indeed. So, yes.
That don't put her on a 14-hour sked now, please. Now that she's taken a...
Why should I do it?
Yeah.
See, I have just pointed the truth. It's the fact. Sri Lanka's streak is over.
Now
Oh
that,
no.
Now that she's added salt to the wound.
Nah, not salt to the wound. I mean, somewhere in this Asia Cup, that streak had to end. Either it ended against India or ended against Pakistan.
Yeah.
You never know. It was the
So
same.
they've
Sri Lanka-
gone through unbeaten. They were champions again.
Exactly. It happened last year.
Yeah, I mean,
That would have been.
No, I think last year they lost 1 match, then won
They
500.
didn't go unbeaten, but they did beat India and Pakistan in the final
they
then.
lost in the game before the final.
Oh,
to Pakistan.
that's right.
They had beaten everybody else. They lost the last league game to Pakistan.
And
but
then
they
in the
lost-
final they
But they
beat-
won in the final.
Alright.
So that was the thing. But yep, Sri Lanka's major problem was that it was left far too much for Dhananjay De Silva and Punit Vellalage to do. And we were all discussing upstairs, right? I mean, Vellalage, 5 wickets, a 50. He has
42.
done it in the past, a 42.
42 on the day, but yeah, 50 as Shane was saying.
the
that
under
he's
19 World Cup against
World
Australia.
Cup, yeah.
Yep. Similar conditions though, by the way.
Yeah, Antigua, no, slightly slow, low.
Slow, low, and offering that much of purchase for the spinners. But yep, Vellalage just didn't have any partners. At Dhananjay De Silva's dismissal, had he hung in for another 4-5 overs,
things would have looked much different.
Much different.
By the way, Dylan Pereira points out.
They only lost the first match. Oh yeah.
So I was right.
Yes.
He corrected my right stat here. Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, they're absolutely walloped by Afghanistan. I totally forgot about that. I thought that match was just a. Did that really happen? Yes.
It did.
Afghanistan was.
Yeah, you would look back and think of it as a blip, right?
Yeah, it was a blip. But
I mean, in hindsight, you can definitely say it was a blip.
yeah.
A blip.
They also came through because of that controversial no ball that in the Bangladesh World, remember that last league game. So 2 runs were needed, no ball. Okay, but then Sri Lanka celebrated. Bangladesh are wondering what's happening. You bowled a no ball. Adil Chaudhary had signaled a no ball.
But
that was a bit of a low day for
coming-
Bangladesh.
Yeah, it was.
Coming to you, Nikhil, one of the things, and you can perhaps...
Can I say one thing?
Uh-huh.
One thing I want to say, in all of the bit that we're celebrating India's outstanding performance in 2 back games, a word on Gayle, outstanding youngster, one to watch out for. We keep looking for the next superstar, and Sri Lankan cricket desperately needs that. He could be that guy. Outstanding with the ball today, and absolutely brilliant with the bat too. So I know you guys have done a video on Sports Today about Gayle, so everyone who's joining us, do check that video out as well. But watch out for this youngster. Whenever you see some good young talent coming through, it as a cricket fan, it's a great sight, and I'm happy for Sri Lanka. This seems like the guy who could then be the next star. I think the star that has really emerged in recent time in Sri Lanka has been Hasaranga, but he's not playing this tournament.
Yep.
And they need another star or two to be there, because when I go around Sri Lanka, I see a lot of hoardings, right? I used to come here at the time of Mutaiya Muralidharan in Chaminda Vas, when they used to be on every billboard. Now that Sanat Jayasuriya, these are the guys that I would see on every billboard in Sri Lanka. Arjuna Ranatunga, some names. But then there was this lull, and you really weren't seeing the next bit of superstar. And the one that really emerged recently has been Hasaranga, who I started seeing on a few billboards. But I think this guy is the one to watch out. Maybe in 5 years' time, if I make a trip back to Sri Lanka, Gayle could be on various billboards endorsing,
I hope
Pepsi Cola or chips or mobile operators and so on and so forth.
I hope so, because see, the last time a left-arm orthodox left-handed bat really starred for Sri Lanka,
Herath.
he changed the entire face.
No, Herath wasn't a bat. No.
But bowler.
Sanath
Jayasuriya.
Jayasuriya.
Yes.
He was the guy who changed Sri Lanka cricket in a big way.
True.
And remember, he started off primarily as a bowler.
But then became a fearsome opening bat.
Yeah, he was batting at number 9, number 8, where the exact position where
Where
Velalage
is batting.
at this time. And remember, he's not a power hitter. He's not in the Jayasuriya mold of power hitting as of at this time. But already at the age of 20, he has shown the maturity that perhaps even a Jayasuriya lacked, because Jayasuriya and Sri Lanka in the 90s, they were just coming back to international cricket. I mean, you have to understand the consequences, because in 1987, because of the terrorism that Sri Lanka got impacted, they couldn't host any matches for 5 years. So most of the exposure that the youngsters got, they're all overseas, in countries like England, in countries like Australia, New Zealand, India. So that's where you saw them emerge as one of the best. Velalage also, his best moment came in the West Indies. 264 runs at an average of 44 and 17 wickets. And as a captain. It was so sad that they lost by about 3 to 4 runs in that under-19 World Cup knockout against Afghanistan. 5 runouts on that particular day, and Sri Lanka were eliminated. So, Velalage is a player for the future, but he needs to be nurtured well, because somewhere down the line there is a lot of upheaval in Sri Lanka's domestic system. And players like Velalage might not get that chance, because since he's not a power hitter, he plays for the Jaffna Kings in the Lanka Premier League. But I hope his talent is harnessed, because you still haven't found your next Sangakkara and Jayawardene from these particular parts yet.
Yeah.
It's been 7 years since they returned. So that's about Dunit Velalage. By the way, he is the player of the match.
No
Yes.
surprise.
And
I
deservedly.
would have thought give it to Kuldeep. Now won you the match.
Gautam Gambhir will be very angry.
I mean, he got you 4 wickets, so why not? It's So that's the situation.
But I have
No,
a
but I
question for
think
Nikhil.
on a day today was the day that you had to give, irrespective of which team won. I think you
Yes.
had to give to the best player on the field, and I think Gayle was the best player on the field. Fifer, then that batting that he did, almost taking his team close to victory. I think he deserves the man of the match, and good that they've given it to him. I don't think even the Indian team would be complaining. So I must point out, we were critical of Akshar Patel, the bowler, but I will give credit to Akshar Patel, the batsman.
Yeah.
Those 26 runs could have been very crucial. If you had another wicket fall pretty early at that time, this game could have gone either way. I know the margin is 41, but imagine just take away that 27-run partnership in the end,
Yep.
and then the margin is 10-12 runs. I don't think they would have batted the way that they were batting now, and 10-12 could have then been narrowed into a victory as well. So I think those were also crucial runs in today's game.
Yep, that's what Akshar Patel had a very bittersweet day. With the ball, he kind of was like underwhelming, but with the bat, that crucial partnership, at least he got you past 200.
Exactly.
But when a partnership is developing, maybe you need that Shardul kind of a luck to ensure that you break it. Because you're in a catch-22.
He's Lord.
You're in a catch-22 because Akshar's won you the game with the bat. But with the ball, he's primarily that role, he's not done it.
And also, I think it's not easier for him also because remember, he's not a guaranteed starter. He knows for a fact that he's that rotation number 8 depending on conditions. So, truth be told, there would have been a bit of pressure. And even if he was economical, would have been fine. But unfortunately, got taken for a few runs.
Yeah, he missed this length.
But the first over was good. He gave away just one run.
One run,
Second
but after
over,
Too
that, second over is when
short.
yes,
He was
9
too short.
runs. He gave away 9 runs in the second over.
That is the problem with Akshar Patel. Sometimes in the quest for pushing the ball through, that arm ball through, skidding, he just misses his length. He bowls it either too short or he
too
goes
wide.
to the leg side. That's the problem. So, but okay, Nikhil, I think you lost the connection.
No, I'm here. No. You've not lost the connection. I'm here. I was just checking out something. Do you know who wears 63 or 83 as their jersey number in the Indian team?
In
63, 83.
63 is Josh Butler.
No, Indian.
Indian team, Surya.
Surya, yeah.
Surya 63?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of figure out.
Was he around you?
Who's the one? No, I was just seeing somebody, do some drills, and I was wondering who that is, and I could only see the back. So yeah, there must have been Surya only then. 63, I think.
Yeah, 63 is Surya.
Yep. So, getting ready for the Bangladesh because I think he may play.
Yeah, he might just play that match because Bangladesh is a dead rubber now. You may as well rotate.
Yep. So, all your major bowlers like Shami, if you want to get Prasidh. This is that game now because you're going to have only one dead rubber in this entire Super Force, and that is on the 15th. India versus Bangladesh.
Friday.
Yep. So that is the dead rubber, and maybe you'll see a lot more rotation at that time.
The one time where I'll be very happy to see them rotate.
Yeah, it will be.
It will be expected.
Yeah. So India versus Bangladesh has no bearing on the Asia Cup now.
And it's a virtual knockout now. Day before or day after?
Day after. Yep. Sri Lanka versus Pakistan at the Ketarama. Whoever wins that, through
You
to the
win,
final.
you play the final.
Win and you're in.
Yep.
Snooze and you lose.
Yeah.
Yep. But a word about Kuldeep. I mean, he had mentioned in that press conference yesterday that 5 months he was out injured. It was really, really frustrating. But the host broadcasters are pointing the change in the run-up.
He spoke about it. He spoke about it yesterday also. Very briefly, he mentioned how he's changed things tactically in his game. And like the host broadcaster was also showing, yes, he's coming in much more straighter. He wasn't running in as fast as he does now. So those two tactical changes as far as run up going. Perhaps
Even the average speed of his delivery is increased. Previously, he was bowling it at average 77, and now it's 82. So he's pushing it through a little quicker because I think the advantage is that because left arm wrist spinners are a relative rarity. Half the time you're trying to figure out what ball they're going to bowl, where it's going to spin. Because he's pushing it through a little quicker, he's giving them less time to make that decision. You saw it with the tail-enders, the way they got out. Patirana and before him,
Kasun Rajita.
They were unable to read him at all.
Yeah. Because I think the one to Rajita, it was the wrong one.
Yeah, it was the wrong one. It was a dusra.
Yep. And it was pushed through at about 84 KMPH.
Yeah, so the natural ball for Kuldeep would be spinning away from the left-hander, so into the right-hander. This one pitched on leg stump and kind of went away. So it was the wrong hand.
But I think what has increased in Kuldeep's consistency is the length. He's much fuller. And because he's in that uncertain good length, full length area, that's why you saw the last wicket.
Yeah, that's
they
why
just
batters
couldn't
get
figure him
confused.
out.
Yeah.
And because of the bounce factor, because he's giving a lot more revs. If somebody tries to top edge, like what happened with Vedlalage, he top edged one sweep, but then luckily it fell in no man's land. 3 fielders were converging. So it's not easy in these kind of conditions to get the better of Kuldeep. I mean, he's taken a 9 for 68 in about 18-19 overs. So it's a great feat indeed by Kuldeep.
And Nikhil, now that I see you leave the stadium, a quick word though on the crowd today. Clearly, I think it was the loudest night you would have experienced in Sri Lanka over the last
This
2
tournament?
weeks. That
Forget the loudest night. This is the first time in so many years I'm experiencing the fact that the Indian team is an away team. Otherwise, I was in Australia, in England, in UAE. Wherever you go, wherever India plays, they're always the home team. They always look like the team which has the maximum amount of support. First time they felt like the away team because there were more fans cheering for a Sri Lanka wicket or a 4. Otherwise, whenever there's a loud cheer, you know, India has picked up a wicket or India has hit a 4. First time, it was the other way around.
Yep. Yeah, for once. I mean, for once, Sri Lanka needed their home support. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and to be fair, the crowd was raucous today. You could hear it. And that makes such a difference in a game.
Yeah.
By the time the first innings ended, I think it was packed
Yeah.
stadium. It
The
was
stadium
packed
was packed.
stadium.
If you have to look at the power of the audience, when Sri Lanka were in the heights of their economic crisis, Australia had come. They had lost the T20Is, the first 2 T20Is, and they were about to be whitewashed 3-0. But then the miracle of 2.559. Dasun Shanaka smashed 59 runs in 2.5 overs. And you should have seen the crowd and the way how the crowd cheered them on.
Oh yeah.
And that was the reason why they turned that ODI series around and they won it 2-1 subsequently. The tests were also drawn 1-1, by the way. That was Australia's only away loss prior to India in their entire cycle.
But despite that, despite what Shanaka did last year, he still doesn't have an IPL contract.
He did. He
Yes.
got roped in for Gujarat. No,
Later. Again, he was drafted as a replacement.
See,
for Kane Williamson.
Sri Lanka's players, they have not been able to get consistent IPL contracts because the board is creating that much of a problem.
Yeah, but recently I think that's changed because if you look at it, you've got you had
Patirana.
Dasun Shanaka, you had Patirana and
Tikshana.
Tikshana in the same team,
same
one
team.
Indu,
One Hindu with RCB. Yeah.
and Bhanukar Rajapaksa
For
Punjab Kings.
Punjab.
But again, remember, this came after
And
a lot
Vedlalage
of...
may as well just have a contract.
No, I don't see
You never know.
Vedlalage fitting in. No, because he doesn't have the power game as of yet. You
The
don't need a
the
containing bowler.
T20 game.
He doesn't have that power game for the T20 game as of yet, but you're not going to look at containing bowlers in the IPL. See, you already have a dearth of left-arm spinners in the IPL in all the teams if you look at it. Where are you going to slot in a Vedlalage? You can't. You are not even able to slot in a match winner last year in Dasun Shanaka. How are you going to slot in Vedlalage? I don't think that happens. So,
And not just him. I mean, how many? And I know this is this thing, but how many foreign spinners do you see play? Not that many. Even if they're bowling options.
I think the promise that
One
he showed
Hindu
with
is
the
one.
Bat
Narayan
today.
is one in Kolkata.
Yeah, but Narayan to plays even as a pure bowler if it comes
Yeah,
down
I'm
to it.
saying he is a player to watch out for.
But I think not just for IPL, I think he's your leadership role.
Yeah, I think he's a future captain.
Future captain.
Once I think Shanaka transitions out of it, they might turn to one Hindu for now.
Asaranga,
Yes, one Hindu Asaranga, but in the future, this guy.
Yeah, because Asaranga, yes.
Yes.
I think that could be the transition, yeah.
Because I think Asaranga
Or the succession.
recently was with the kind of LPL shows he was having.
Yes.
And he's, I think, the vice captain also, if I'm not wrong.
Correct. So that's why. Because Vedlalage, the problem is now he's just started. This is his first year. He started in 2022. He was in the 2022 thing, and luckily he is one of the few, if you look at it, who's immediately made the transition to international cricket.
Pretty easily, you mean?
Yeah, because see, if you look at it, our Indian, when was the last big Indian hope to come out of the under-19 setup? Yashasvi Jaiswal, 2020?
Jaiswal would be the most recent.
Most recent.
See, Prithvi is kind of.
He later failed, but he was one of those.
If you're looking at the one who's established most consistently, Shubman Gill,
Oh, yeah.
across formats.
Across formats.
But he was also from the class of 2018.
2018.
Rishabh Pant,
Prithvi,
2016.
him and Prithvi both.
And Ishan Kishan 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vellalage and Patirana, two of the 2022 batchmates who are now doing well for Sri Lanka. In this.
Actually, Patirana is another one.
Patirana was in 2022. Yep, so that's why. And even Satish B saying, yeah, even a guy like Travis Head doesn't get a position. Although Head was there 2-3 years ago for RCB, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yeah.
It's okay, everyone goes to RCB and plays badly.
But that time he was not the Travis Head that he is now.
Actually, yes, he wasn't.
He wasn't. I think the making of Travis Head probably came in the South Africa series. That
I will say it came in Test cricket.
Test cricket.
More so than ODI or
I
T20
agree.
cricket. It came in Test cricket because he was playing constantly those counter-attacking knocks.
Yes.
That's what really got him into focus. Him and another player who was similar, Alex Carey. Carey, remember, also had a major, let's say, a step up because he was always the second choice. Out of nowhere, Tim Payne, scandal hit, captaincy gone, position gone.
By the way, Alex Carey also came into the limelight because he captained Australia to a series win.
Correct.
West Indies 2-1 that series. So that is the situation. But talking about Travis Head and all, it's not a good news for
The
Australia.
111 runs South Africa beat them by.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Gerald Ketsey and Keshav Maharaj.
Keshav was it? I saw someone say Shamsi did well.
Oh, I think it was Keshav. I
Let
think,
me
if
check.
I think it was
Need to
Keshav
check, yeah.
Maharaj who did well at that time. And Gerald Ketsey also really bowled well. And that's why, 227 in response to 300 scorecard.
Yeah, Shamsi got 2. No, both of them got 2 really.
Yep.
2 for 29 for Tabrez Shamsi, 2 for 37.
4 for 50 from Gerald Ketsey. But boy,
Shamsi and
forget the result. Today, the match at Potchefstroom, you seen possibly the catch of the year. Sean Abbott. When Marco Janssen hit, I think it was Nathan Ellis over deep extra car. Boy, the way how Sean Abbott ran to his left, he launched and managed to stay inside the boundary despite the momentum and took that stunner.
Wow.
It reminded me of that, who was that who took it in the T20 Vitality Blast?
Recently?
Oh yeah.
Brendan Curry, if I'm not
No. You did a video on him, I remember. What was his name?
He wasn't a well-known player. So
Yeah. It was Vitality.
I
Blast.
remember it was of the bowling of Taimal Mills.
Yes.
And I think it was Howell who played that pull shot.
It was Benny Howell.
Benny
Benny
Howell.
Howell, yes.
And he
We
just-
remember everyone except the catcher.
except the catcher. But boy, if that catch you could see, he just put him a cape. He'll be like Superman. It was such a brilliant catch.
Leave all that. The best catch I've ever seen for me. Just random this thing. And I'm sure a lot of you will remember it. Chris Lynn, AB de Villiers.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
2014.
KKR versus
that.
RCB at Sharjah.
When the way he flew back,
The
then
back
landed, contorted in a way that he landed, didn't hit the boundary rope. My oh my.
Brad Curry.
Brad Curry.
I thought I said Brad. No, I said Curry, but
Some other name. Brandon.
Brendan. I said Brendan Curry. Sorry. So Brad Curry. I think it was for Hampshire, if I'm not wrong.
That I don't remember.
Yeah,
That-
Vitality Blast T20. But Sean Abbott, what a
Yeah, that was
catch.
a
I
really
think
good catch.
One of the catches of the year so far. One of the catches.
I mean, so far is not much. We're 9 months into the year. Arey yaar.
Evan
Lewis. Don't remind me of that.
2022.
Jeeta jataya
Shame.
match tha.
Yeah,
Oh,
but sticking to international cricket, I mean, the catch that I would say, I mean, many people would not remember, it's a very underrated catch. James Kirtley of Saurav Ganguly.
I don't remember this one.
2002, what happened was Ganguly danced on a track to Ashley Giles, launched him over wide long on. Kirtley running from long on, one-handed to the left, took a stunning catch.
Memorable one for me, Ben Stokes 2019.
Okay, you can't do that. Ben
Nasser
Stokes.
Hussain's commentary. You
Yeah.
cannot do that, Ben Stokes. That was
Was
crazy.
it Kagiso Wada who-
No,
the batter who got out.
I don't remember who the batter was. I just remember the catch. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
The one-handed catch.
Yeah, and over his head he went and then he
Oh, yeah,
tumbled
yeah,
at
yeah.
deep mid wicket, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a brilliant catch.
Crazy catch. that
Yeah,
was.
but today the catch,
Sean Abbott.
Sean Abbott, and today another very crucial catch which changed the course.
Right.
KL Rahul.
Surya.
Yeah, Gill took the catch of De Silva, no?
Yeah.
Gill. I mean, he was positioned just there at mid-on. And just an inch over, it would have been a 4.
Yeah.
But that catch ensured the lower order collapsed and you
Absolutely.
didn't have any kind of backup to fall back on. So
That partnership was a breakthrough moment. I mean, breaking that partnership was a breakthrough moment for India.
Yeah, because what is India's big problem, and we didn't dwell on that enough, but dismissing the last 2 batters every single time, you don't have the ability to dismiss your tail. And to be fair, today, once you did, you saw how nervy they were. Tikshana, by the way, had 2 nervy moments. One was the catch where he got out, but that blind run,
Oh,
Jadeja could have run him out
missed the
easily.
run out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was. Oof,
Yeah,
close.
but today let's just sum up what has happened. Okay, it all started with Rohit Sharma getting to 10,000 runs.
Oh,
We
yeah.
haven't focused on it that much because he's now the second quickest ever.
Did he complete most sixes as well?
No, I think he needs another
Few others?
8 more, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. Which I think he will get it.
Obviously.
In the next match.
Next match.
8.
Can happen.
I mean, to be fair, it's Bangladesh.
If he puts his mind to it.
But you look at it, Rohit has actually hit more sixes against the established nations, not against minnows.
Yeah, because a lot of the established bowlers,
change
quicker
that.
ones, try and kind of bounce him for whatever reason. I've never understood.
It is without no reason that he's got the most sixes against Australia, 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'll always go for the
across
pull
formats,
shot. No?
Yeah. Combined across formats, he's got 100 sixes. It's the second most against any team after a certain Christopher Henry Gayle against England. He's hit about 146s combined across formats.
In fact, the record which is gunning for most sixes is also Christopher Henry Gayle.
Gayle, yes. I mean, we don't know whether we'll ever get this. I think this one stat kind of might be difficult to break. 100 sixes in all 3 formats.
Christopher did it, didn't
No.
he? No, he hasn't.
Gayle has 98 sixes in tests.
Oh, so he's never breaking that then?
He's not breaking that. Callis, 97 sixes. He's got, and if you look at it, Brendan McCullum had 100 sixes in ODIs, 100 sixes in tests, but T20 is 91.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting that for one simple reason.
Stokes also is not good because I don't know how many T20s he'll play. He's got only 22 sixes there.
In fact, I think you're not going to see that broken for one simple reason. In the future, you're going to see less and less all format. No, all format players. How many all format players?
I mean, Rohit has a good chance. If he prolongs his test career by another 2-3 years, he's got 68 sixes in tests, and he's already got over 100 sixes in ODIs and T20s.
Actually, yeah, Rohit could be that person.
Yeah. Or in test matches, your greatest ever tail ender, Tim Southee. He's got 80 sixes in tests.
He has more sixes than MS Dhoni.
Summary.
Yeah.
Please,
So,
let's come back.
That's your match summary.
10,000 runs for Rohit Sharma, but after that you had a collapse of 9 for 117. Then a crucial partnership with Akshar Patel and Siraj got them to 213. You had Dunit Vellalage taking 5 for 40, maiden 5-wicket haul, and
You almost had someone else also pick a 5 for.
Charit Asalanka quadrupled his wicket tally.
Yeah.
38 ODIs, he had just one. That of Andile Feklukweo in 2021. Now he got 4 wickets with
In
good
one match.
bounce and good turn.
I was just wonder who is it would match someone like, say, what's his name, Scott Boland at the MCG, that kind of record. Charit Asalanka, 5 wickets, all at the Primadasa.
All of the Primadasa. Yes. But Boland, to his credit, has gotten it even in all
Elsewhere
the other
now,
places of
yeah.
Australia also. But yeah, he's an MCG piece. Then looking at the in Sri Lankan response, it was always going to be tough because you had quality spinners.
You missed it on the rain.
I didn't dwell much on that because we didn't lose overs.
And we didn't lose anything, thankfully.
Exactly. So had the rain come and interrupted the innings and also reduced overs, then I would have focused on it. But luckily,
We lost a day of our lives thanks to rain, let's be
Yeah.
fair.
rain, yes. So you then struggled, the likes of Dimuth Karunaratne, Kusal Mendes, Patum Nisanka all struggled against Siraj and Bumrah.
Bumrah gave you the first clue.
7 overs, 2 for 30. Hostile pace, variation, and the Yorkers that he was nailing towards the end also to Dhananjay De Silva was brilliant. Then there was a 63-run stand between Dunit Vellalage and Dhananjay De Silva. Once that fell, Sri Lanka just capitulated and you lost by 41 runs, which by the way, Sri Lanka's net run rate prior to this match was plus 0.42. It's now dipped to minus 0.2. So that is why.
Credit to India though, by the way, playing 2 back-to-back matches and both winning in some manner.
Yeah.
This one was far more nervy than yesterday. Yesterday was the most comfortable win or comprehensive win. that India would have wanted. But today,
It's not the first time that it's happened because you remember in 2018, India got a much tougher fright against Hong Kong. They won by only 26 runs, but against Pakistan, 8 wickets, they just hammered them. So that's
it's
why.
turning out to be a rivalry of extremes, huh?
Indeed. Like, as I had said, from 2010 you just had 2 ODIs which were very thrilling. You had 4 T20Is which were thrilling at that time. 2010.
What is Dex wanting us to take for like?
The comment is right down there.
He's saying if you observe closely, there is a lot of Damien Martin, Aiden Markram's batting style. Maybe, but see, Markram is a bit more aggressive than Martin.
Yeah, exactly. Martin was more of an accumulator.
Martin was a touch player.
My best memory, and that's something I remember my father sort of, injected this into me, and I have that memory only, and that's the way I still perceived him as the perfect strike rotator. He would always keep the scoreboard ticking, even though, in fact, I was just digging into his numbers some time back, just wanted to know his career strike rate, and it's just around 80-85, which is not too bad at all.
For that era?
Exactly, for that era, playing in that Australian team, and he was one of their unsung, underrated heroes, by the way.
And I think Dex, if I would say, Martin, far better player of spin than Aiden Markram.
That's not to take anything away from Markram. He's a good player of spin.
He showed you in the IPL this year.
But again, remember, Martin had to play against the likes of Harbhajan and Kumble in these conditions.
That's also true.
And they were, I am sorry if you have to look at it, much better than Ashwin and Jadeja, if you have to look at it in the broader context. Kumble and Harbhajan on those kind of Indian wickets were unplayable.
See, Kumble better than Ashwin, of course. Yeah, agree.
Harbhajan also, yeah.
No, Harbhajan had
series.
And Harbhajan didn't have the kind of rank turners you get now.
Yes.
That is a difference.
So imagine playing against those two and also Martin against Muralidharan. Let's not forget that. So that's why Markram, credit, I said Markram's not a bad player of spin. He's a good player, but Martin was a different level altogether. That's why. So from the US, why that yellow guy, what the hell is that? I don't know.
That's for you.
That's for me. Okay, thank you.
But the display picture is
He's a Sky fan, by the way. And I think the sky is dark. He's paying tribute to the Colombo weather, I think. Because he's put a black this thing, no? So he's talking about Sky. I think God will conspire for Sky to play at number 5 in World Cup final. He's been advocating for Sky throughout the day. He will chase and win. Sky can bowl medium pace. He took 24 wickets in first class.
That's okay. It still doesn't mean he'll bowl.
So you are getting
Right
Sky
now, he
in
has
probably for medium pace.
24 odd ODIs and an average of about 20 odd, which isn't good. I think he's got enough chances.
See, Sky might come in if Shreyas Iyer is not past fit. Simple.
Right now, even that's not
right now even that's not happening. No, you played KL and
Ishan.
KL.
Exactly, Siddharth. Yeah.
Yellow guy, I hope you got it. Because
you have a new answer in 2 games.
Yep, you do. But yeah, then KL will be your designated keeper batsman. Ishan just plays as a
Might just field,
just as a batsman. So, but again, today the way how he batted and the way how he got out, big problem. That problem still lingers with Ishan.
Yeah, he's a little better on pacier wickets. Spin friendly tracks, he can be a little susceptible.
So I think if he's good on flat pacier tracks, I think the wickets in India which are coming up in October
should suit him.
Could suit him.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Let's see. Akash Bhardwaj says that how do you see Bumrah? Big positive for me. And why Siraj didn't bowl after the first 10? Because he wasn't needed.
Water wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Because Hardik was building up pressure at the other end and Kuldeep chipped in. And Jadeja got you the wicket of Dhananjay De Silva. You didn't need Siraj.
I would say today's performance was a complete whole package of, how it should be. Everyone chipped in.
Everybody of the bowlers.
In fact, even Siraj early on, Siraj had 2 maidens.
Yeah.
He was really moving the ball a lot.
The batters, that same question. Can you play quality left arm spin? That's the thing.
Yeah, today actually you were bailed out by the fact that your bowling was much better.
Yeah.
I had told the mid innings that this total is like 314 because the likes of Kuldeep and Jadeja are really going to wreak havoc. I had included Akshar because I thought this was an Akshar kind of a wicket, but then he messed up his lengths. That is why he got hit for 29 runs in 5 overs. But as I said, it's bittersweet. He kind of made it up with the bat. 27 runs. I think you can take that, but then if you want a partnership breaker with the ball for these kind of totals, you need Shardul. Honestly, because he will concede 10 runs in the first over, 5 balls, but he'll take a wicket on the 6th ball.
So let's take 1-2 more comments and we can call it a night.
Yes, we can, and we have to do some more videos in this sense.
No, I won't call it a light from this live.
Yeah. Against Bangladesh, would we try Sky and Shami? Maybe we can.
I think we might just.
We can, because I think Bumrah might be rested, get Shami in this place, and Sky. But then even Ishan Kishan would need game time. I don't see Sky fitting in. Because as you said, Ishan and KL are your number 4 and 5.
So maybe not Sky, but you could see probably Shami Prasidh come in.
Prasidh in place of whom? You are resting Siraj also, but Siraj hasn't bowled that many overs.
And that's also true.
I
Maybe
think
Prasidh.
I think you will see only Shami come in for Bumrah. That's about it. I can't see many changes because in the batting lineup, you need to give game time to KL Rahul, you need to give game time to Ishan Kishan also.
And potentially even Shreyas Iyer if it really comes down to
Give
it.
game time to everyone.
But I don't think Shreyas is coming for the Bangladesh game. As I told you, a back spasm takes at least 5 days to a week to recover.
Yeah.
So I'll be very surprised if he can play the final.
In
It'll be a race against
fact, then I think the realistic target for him, assuming the back spasm is assuming the spasm is just a temporary thing, would be Australia.
Yeah.
where it all began.
Yashwant PNVR has an interesting comment. He feels that Kuldeep should not be exposed to Australia in the upcoming series and England in the warm-up games. I don't think you can do
Fair
that.
point, but you're not resting him.
Yeah.
Plus, secondly, you expose him as much as you want. They're still not being able to read him. Trust me.
Yeah, and remember, resting him can have a negative impact also. He may
Momentum.
lose rhythm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rhythm. And there's nothing. Kuldeep is no new commodity. Let's be honest. He's been around for far too long, and there's nothing new, by the way, that he's doing at the moment. There's no new variation. It's just perfect
The
execution.
IPL has ensured that no bowler is a novelty.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a novelty.
Yeah.
Everybody will
Even
be dissected.
Patirana right now. Everyone knows what he has to offer.
Correct.
Yep.
Unless you in the IPL you bowl with your right arm and then in international suddenly you're left-handed. That's
Even
the only
then,
option.
video analysis will ensure that you figure what lens, what is the variation, the grip, the finger position, how it is on the seam. Everybody will be sorted out. Vishal Panchal, we'll take this final super chat. Question on Akshar on spinning track. Ashwin may be sorry, Vishal.
No. Please.
That boat has sailed.
Yeah.
Even with Akshar, it could have been just an off day. It happens to everyone.
At this point, you're sticking with him.
Yeah.
Right now, look at the fact that he's also that in and out kind of a player right now.
Exactly.
If for Shardul, one can say that okay, just one wicket or maybe just do 5 or 7 odd runs that he got against Pakistan, maybe 12 runs that he got the other day. If you do in and out with him, and there'll be most days you'll probably miss than hit.
Correct.
So perhaps it's going to apply to Akshar as well.
Agreed. The squad can be changed until September 27,
But I don't-
way past Ashwin now.
No.
Sorry, you
Please,
can't
let's
write
not go
anybody
back
in
to
that.
that. Satish Bhai says it's good that SA won the ODI
series
thing
alive.
to keep the series alive because we have so many one-sided matches with just one win anyway.
I
Yeah.
don't agree with that one-sided match, Satish, because the first game at Bloemfontein was a thriller. It needed a special concussion substitute from Manas Labuschagne to bail you out. But yeah, the second game was very one-sided.
Very one-sided.
Yeah. And Australia, if you look at it, this kind of a situation going bang might have had a reverse because Warner started out like a train. In 6 overs, they were close to 55. But once you start losing wickets and again spin, especially on these wickets, you're just one step away from falling down a cliff.
And actually, the thing with bang cricket is that it doesn't tend to work against quality spin as much.
Yeah, that's the problem. So, yeah, and even New Zealand, yes, the 2 games that have happened in the England-New Zealand match, that has been one-sided. I mean, in New Zealand won chasing 295 very easily at Swalek. Then at Southampton,
No, actually, Southampton match was an underrated match. Yeah? England lost 5, rebuilt, and then the second innings was one-sided.
New Zealand didn't step up. That's the problem.
That's true.
So
With the bat.
Yep, with the bat. So, this brings to an end a chaotic 4-5 days. I mean, you had Australia, South Africa, you had England, New Zealand.
You had reserve days that shouldn't have been there.
That shouldn't have been India, Pakistan. Now you've got India, Sri Lanka. They have stood the test back to back. They have won. India are through to the final of the Asia Cup, where they will await the winner of the Sri Lanka versus Pakistan match on September 14th.
This you also had a Siddharth who was fighting for justice but was denied ultimately.
Not for Sanju.
It had to be denied. So remember, even if that game is washed out on 14th, Sri Lanka go through because of
better net run rate.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want India-Pakistan, pray that Pakistan wins.
That's the only thing.
Only thing. Otherwise, 15th of September, it's a dead rubber.
Let's see. I mean, and also, it'll be interesting to see for the first time ever in the history of this competition, if you have an India-Pakistan match, or as things stand, many people wanted it. But even after 2 matches, let's say between the 2 sides, or 1.5 match, whatever you want to say, there's only 3 games left now, including the final. You don't quite know if you're guaranteed of an India-Pakistan match.
I mean, remember, it took you only one T20 World Cup to get an India-Pakistan final. You've not had an ODI World Cup final between India and Pakistan, which might happen sometime in the future. Champions Trophy, you finally got a final in 2017 after trying for 19 years. 30 years of Asia Cup. I think this might be the edition where you get it.
Yeah.
Might
We have
get it.
another super chat from Dex. He's
Dex.
saying now AB de Villiers is the only batsman to average over 15 both tests and ODIs with a huge sample
He's right,
size.
actually,
One
yeah.
of the greatest ever to.
Kohli's is dropped below, no?
But
Kohli is 48, no?
48, yeah, but he can make it up pretty soon.
Yeah.
You were saying,
he
had he
can.
gotten about those 400 runs,
Yeah.
it would have gone past.
But-
in the West Indies series, you're talking about him putting 400
But
runs.
Dex, let me tell you, for 3 to 4 years, and Virat Kohli has a big sample size, by the way. Only one of the 2 players to play 100 matches in all formats. He averaged 50 plus in all 3 formats for a significant period of time.
Exactly.
You're looking at about 5 odd years.
And the only guy who matched him, but only for a couple of months, was Kane Williamson. After that, Williamson's T20 form declined, but for good couple of years, Kohli
I
averaged
don't
50
think
plus.
there's a debate. If you're looking at an
Kohli's
all
too tall.
format, numero uno, there is just Virat
Yep.
Kohli.
Look,
And then there's everyone else.
can I just tell you why this point is very meritorious? Because check out his numbers from 2010 till the decade of 2019, December. 2010
Madness.
till 2019. Kohli, across formats, is the only guy past 20,000 runs. The next best is a good 5,000-6,000 runs away.
Yeah.
If that is not greatness, folks, I don't know what can be.
Yeah, but I don't think he's doubting Kohli's greatness.
He
He's just
isn't.
saying
He's not.
he's
He's
just
not.
tom-tomming for AB.
He's talking about a sample size,
Yeah.
but even Kohli's sample size is massive.
Yeah.
I mean, De Villiers unfortunately didn't play that much of T20I cricket. He's played T20, but not T20I.
Yeah.
So that's why. And AB is the greatest. I mean, no one's ever doubting that. But nothing can beat the king, man.
AB was genius, great. He was genius level,
genius,
great.
He was the first 360.
Yeah.
Yep,
The first
yep.
freak. Because you can't imagine him playing a reverse ramp, a sweep shot to a bowler, a pace bowler rather.
Well, you know, just when you were, let's say, starting, or from your memory, not yours, since you were a sharp man, just when you were, beginning to forget all those shots that he could play, then came the emergence of Surya Kumar.
But with Sky, the problem is not across formats, just one format.
AB test.
AB had that ability to flip the switch based on situations.
Crazy shot.
I remember when he made his debut, I don't know, somehow England commentators do have that foresight that yes, this guy is it. Because I remember both Michael Atherton and David Lloyd on commentary when his first innings happened against Harmison, Flintoff.
They
Jones
really
and
placed
Bogart.
him.
They said, AB de Villiers, watch out, he's going to be a future star.
And they were right.
They were proven right. In 2004, they said that, 2004-05. And after that, de Villiers just changed the world. Totally.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's about it. The Asia Cup takes a break for 1 day and then we are back on the 14th.
Not us.
We never take a break in that sense because
What is a
cricket-
break?
Exactly.
We don't
So stories, cricketing stories, sporting stories will continue throughout this week because not just Asia Cup, we are building up even to the Asian Games. Plus, there is the Diamond League
final.
at Eugene. Neeraj
Yes.
Chopra would be gunning for a second Diamond League title.
Diamond League title.
There's plenty of sport actually this week when you think about it.
You've got Formula 1.
Formula 1, Singapore.
Singapore.
Yeah.
Oh, is the European leg over?
European leg is done with now. So it's Singapore this week and of course, club football makes a return. The
Premier
international
League
break
football.
is done.
Okay, I
And
just
in
wanted to
case
know.
you are bored with us, go just check out the new iPhone. Maybe you're interested in buying that also.
Okay, before I end this, I just wanted to know in football, okay, is yellow the least common color if you look
Yes,
at jerseys?
yes. You know why? Because yellow is predominantly in recent times, when I mean recent, not just 10 years, but over past few decades, been the color worn by the referee.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So it's not a color that's taken very commonly, and in fact, it is taken by one member of this thing. That's the goalkeeper, because goalkeepers always have a different jersey, no?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the
Ye-
black or
Yellow
a
and green.
color.
Yellow and green. but
Yellow, green.
Yeah, yellow predominantly.
Okay, because only Brazil, and if I have to look at it,
Villarreal.
Dortmund.
Villarreal.
Villarreal also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Villarreal, in fact, I don't think they have an away jersey. I only recall
I came across this interesting thing the other just not
football
able to recall.
conspiracy theories,
Yeah,
and one of them was that Villarreal don't have an away jersey.
don't have an away jersey.
Because their yellow is similar shade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So only these three teams across the globe. I'm not counting. I think Kerala Blasters.
Kerala Blasters is yellow. In India, actually, you have three teams who have a
Chennai.
yellow: Chennai Yin, Kerala Blasters, and Hyderabad FC, who incidentally have a tie-up with Borussia Dortmund.
Oh, but wasn't Hyderabad FC blue also?
No, it's yellow and black, same colors as Dortmund.
Ah, okay. So Borussia Dortmund. None of the other major. Okay, Australia, the Socceroos. They.
But Socceroos are also predominantly, by the way, if you look at their football jerseys, it's green and
Green
yellow.
and-
So it's not the bright yellow; it's green and yellow.
Okay.
Like think the rugby colors and all, similar.
Very close. Actually, very close. Yeah,
Rugby
yeah.
is kind of the lime yellow that the Australia.
Rugby,
the
but
but
it's
it's
also-
also green shorts and yellow t-shirts.
Yeah,
It's similar in the football sphere.
So only the Seleção Canaria, they are the only guys who wear proper
Bright yellow.
Bright yellow. Okay.
Time to take a leave.
Time to take a leave. We are coming back with a lot more stories. So thank you so much, folks. Congratulations to India, Sri Lanka. Commiserations. 13 match winning streak over. Unlucky 13 indeed. So bye bye from me, Gargi, Shane, and Harshit. See you soon.